What's up, guys? I'm Amon-Rellik the God Slayer. I'm gaming. We're back in more Final Fantasy 14. We are about to head further into this story, trying to get more knowledge from the Asians and their plight of how they've been trying to, they were trying to save their world. Alphino is awaiting the return of your other companions. We can compare notes once the others return. Hopefully, then our next move will become clear. Just seemed our conversations were much alike. A looming disaster, creation magics running rampant, and this convocation's effort to bring salvation out of chaos. I suppose there was talks of little else in the time when these events came to pass. Jay, if I may, what are your thoughts on the ancients' art of creation? A fascinating discipline indeed. Art the mind can conceive may be rendered in reality. All that is required is a clear concept upon which to focus one's will. It's not dissimilar to the primal rites taught by the Asians, wherein ritual ceremony breathed breath into figments of myth and legend. I see we arrived at the same conclusion then. The people who lived in the age before the Sundering were blessed with vast reserves of mana. No matter how draining these creation magics must be, it seems they paid the cost with not more than a fraction of the aether which coursed through their own bodies. Damn. If we were to attempt the same, such spells would soon deplete our energies and then seek to draw the balance from elsewhere. From a hoard of crystals, mayhap, or from the very land itself. Thus, when this art of creation was placed into our hands, it became, in effect, a means for destruction. An interesting matter which no doubt bears further study. But despite all these revelations, I worry we are no closer to finding Emmett Silk. Has anyone learned aught which might help, which might lend us to his location? Lead us. Not directly, mayhap, but from what we've heard, it seems the convocation of 14 is sequestered in the nearby Capitol building. When we went to see for ourselves, the attendant wouldn't let us through without a rite of passage, permission. So we tried our luck at the Bureau of the Administrator, where we thought these permissions might be issued, but the clerk said he couldn't help since our names didn't appear on the registry. And that was where we gave up. I wonder though, Amon, could you be eligible for one of these rights? The voice in the lift seemed to know who you were. It might be that your name is registered in the bureaus as well. Worth the look, I'd say. Meanwhile, I'll head back to the capital and search for a less official point of entry, just in case. Pray allow me to accompany thee on the reconnaissance. An arcane perspective may prove needful. I think I'd like to speak more with these ancients. Maybe they know something that could help cure Amon's condition. Would you mind coming with me? course I don't mind. Just lead the way. Then Stoller and I will busy ourselves with further exploration. There is surely more intelligence to be had. And so we part ways once more. This time, however, let us reconvene in front of the Capitol. I gotta go speak to the administrative clerk. I do like how they made this, like, you would think that, the race of the Ashians, after we've seen La Habrea, Elidibus, all these people who are like been like such villains, you would think seeing their home would be like a place of like destruction and mayhem, when it's really a place of peace, higher learning, and just wonderful magics, like to know that they came from this. That's what they came from, and this is what they're trying to get back. It's like, it almost makes you question whether these guys are actually evil, or they're just willing to go to the extremes to see that their beautiful home is restored to them. All right, gotta go see the administrative clerk. All right, let's go. We're almost there. Lot of running. The Bureau of the Administrator. A visitor's right? Yes, I can assist you. Full name, please. Amon-Rellik. Please wait near the counter while I confirm your details. Amon-Rellik, your application is ready for collection. As your residency was approved by Amon-Rellik himself, further forms of identification will not be required. Here are your application documents. Submit them to the Bureau of the Secretariat, and the clerk will issue you a visitor's right for the capital. Where's that at? Holy ham hock and a ham bone without Granny! This place is enormous. Good Lord. Hell is that? Next, please. Visiting the capital, are we? Please take a seat. Your name will be called once your application has been processed. Yeah, sitting on that. Yeah, I know I look like a kid sitting on that thing. Yup, look at that shit. Yeah. You, I think, are from a time beyond ours. Have you followed in the wake of Amon-Rellik? Nay, there is no cause for alarm. I am simply a shade, here and not here. Hitlerdeus is his name. Hitlerdeus. I know only that my name is Hitlerdeus, and that this city is a recreation, a phantom moment plucked from the well of history. These others seem unaware of their pale existence, but I wonder if Amon-Rellik's mind was distracted when it came to my reconstruction. A stray thought would have been enough. Hitlerdeus will realize the truth, for example. We were close friends once, you see. Yet, in spite of my perception, I played the same role as all the rest. A bit part, meaning meant to bring color and noise to this well-crafted stage. Too much scrutiny, and we shall burst like the fragile bubbles we are. Thus I tell you again, my presence is not to concern you. I wish only to share your company whilst we wake. If you come this far, then you know of the catastrophe which awaits us on our morrow. The final days. What began as isolated incidents soon swell into a world-spanning threat. The convocation of 14, well, it was 13 at the time, endeavored to create a will for our star. They would repair the fundamental laws of order and halt the spread of destruction. But creation on such a scale required an immense source of power. Of those of us who still lived, nearly half offered up their lives in the name of salvation. And from their sacrifice, Zodiac was born. Just as we had hoped, he reached forth and halted the march of oblivion. Yet, oh, how the star had suffered. So many species lost. The land was blighted, the waters poisoned, and even the wind had ceased to blow. Once more did our people give themselves to Zodiac. Another half of our race sacrificed to cleanse the world, to ensure that trees and grasses and myriad tiny lives would sprout and grow and flourish. The cycle of life had begun anew, and we considered the means by which we might protect it. The convocation decided thus: we would nurture our world until it was bursting with vitality. Then, when the time was right, we would offer some portion of its living energy to Zodiac. In return, he would restore to us those brethren whose souls had fed his strength, and together we would resume our role as stewards. There were, however, those who disagreed with this plan. They argued that enough had been sacrificed to Zodiac, that this new world should belong to the lives newly born. These dissidents surrendered their life energies in the creation of Heidelin, an incarnation of their opposing belief. And for the first time in history, our people stood divided. You know then how this conflict ended. I thought you might. Him itself has ever been a champion for the will of Zodiac. The original plan may have been set back by millennia, but he will have not abandoned his course. He will pay the price for our return by whatever means is necessary. And though he may carry himself with a certain glib ease, Emmett-Silk is not a man to bear his burdens lightly. In fact, I imagine they have only grown heavier with every passing century. It is truly a terrible weight he has chosen to carry. Damn, man. Why they making him himself? Damn, man. Amon-Rellik. Damn, man. It seems your time has come. Pray do not let me keep you. And there is one other last thing. You walk with another at your side, yes? see no definite form. Just the faintest suggestion of a second soul. I doubt it visible to anyone but me. Otherwise, I assume only you can see and hear this ethereal companion. Your connection is hardly a coincidence. In our time, the two of you were one. The color of your souls tell the tale. A hue that distinct cannot be mistaken, no matter how thin the soul is spread. Ha! This is just the kind of fate I might expect for one such as he. Surely Amon-Rellik has recognized the hint of him in you. Amon-Rellik. Fare you well, my new old friend. May you find what it is you seek. Yo, this shit made Amon-Rellik seem like he was like a lonely old man, just tired, doing his best to try and save his people. Like, yo, like that's the thing of well-written characters like that. Like, oh, that's well-written character. Like games, oh, come on, like yo, I played Warframe for a while. Warframe could learn a lot from the way they write their way Final Fantasy writes its characters. Other MMOs could really learn a lot. Like Final Fantasy, I don't know who the writers are, who done this game and like others in the past, but like yo, the character development of like again, because when you see Amon-Rellik in the beginning, you're like, this is a rotten piece of shit asshole. And then when you see this now, when you see how he's being fleshed out, and you're starting to see his motivations as more than just you know baseline evil and. Oh man, this is good. Like, and then you get to almost feel bad for the man because he's taking such a responsibility onto himself, and he's been doing it for millions and millions of years. He's been trying to make this shit happen. Like, yo, that's okay. Your visit is right as requested. When you wish to gain admittance to the capital, simply present the document to the attendant within. And that's what I'm saying, like the world building in this game is so good. It's so good, like Grani, let's go. Oh, actually. This would be a faster way. So he literally created an entire city mimicking his old one. Mimicking the place he lost out of his aether. He used his own aether to create this massive city. Like, yeah, now that's what you call powerful. Like, yo, that's crazy. And the people in it. Finally, you were gone so long I was on the verge of mounting a rescue party. How fared you in your bureaucratic ventures? Why am I handing it over to you for? I'm the one that needs to take it in there. Ah, I see my instincts were correct. And a good thing too. Irianje and I weighed our chances into breaking into the capital, and an official entrance is by far the more attractive option. The capital boasts not a single armed sentry, so it seemed that in their time they did not deem it needful to post guard. The doors and windows, however, appear heavily warded, though mightily did we strive, with strength mundane and magical, we failed to budge them even a fraction of an elm. Mayhap 'twas simply the case that Amon-Rellik's recreation did not extend to their usual function. We didn't try everything, of course, but we thought it best to conserve our time and energy for more pressing matters. Speaking of which, Marine and I tried asking about a cure for you. The problem is these ancients didn't exist beyond Amrots today. They will happily tell their own tales, but whenever we attempt to explain our situation, the conversation quickly became muddled. What of you, Amon? Was aught worthy of interest said during your efforts to obtain a right? Yeah, this dude named Hythlodaeus, a great sacrifice of life in exchange for their brother's resurrection. And you say all the Ascian scheming has been led to this? All this time. But if they still mean to enact this plan, then things won't end with the rejoining. I thought we knew their intentions in full: restore the world to its former glory, and in turn empower Zodiar to reclaim his throne as the will of the star. Yeah, that was merely a step along the way. I hesitate to put it into words, but we have to assume that following the final rejoining, the Ascians mean to draw on the lives of the source to make their sacrifice to Zodiar. That does seem the most likely scenario. Mayhap those who ally with the Ascians will be spared that fate. But what value is there in surviving when all our history, all our struggles will be erased? I cannot conscience such an act. Of course not. And that's to say not of what Amon-Rellik's plans for the Exarch's power. Do we stand by and let him threaten our future as well as our past? We need to find him, Amon, and when we do, make your mark. Change the course of history in a way that's felt by those who came before and those who came after, by everyone you've ever met. Change things so that even my other self, dying somewhere in that future calamity, will smile and say, I knew you would win. Is fighting Amon-Rellik the only way? He created an entire city. It will take everything we have to defeat him, even if we can. And if you push that hard in your current state, the light will break free. The decision to press on lies with you, just as it lies with each and every one of us. Okay, we get crit. We automatically get crit. I'm gonna get some more spell speed. Alisei appears to. Oh, this is Shadowbringers. Okay, hold on. Okay. I think this is the end of the Shadowbringers storyline, guys. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stop it here because this is this story part is titled the actual expansion. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stop it here, and in the next episode we're gonna take on Shadowbringers. Amon-Rellik the Godslayer. Amon-Rellik Gaming. We out.